to live peaceful together. That's the biggest hope we have for the next year.
A great wish for the new year as we say good morning 2024. People all over the world celebrating with fireworks, friends, and love. Meanwhile, terrorist group Al-Qaeda trying to spread fear. We're live with their new threats against the West, high-profile economic figures, and airlines. How the Pentagon and TSA are responding. And take a look at this. A meteor falling through the sky, thankfully caught on camera. Where it happened and when you could see the next meteor shower.
Best way to start the New Year's. Yes.
Oh, it was ice cold?
It's ice cold. It's really ice cold.
Today, millions of people will take part in a popular plunge, washing away 2023 in frigid waters. But is it good for you? A doctor weighs in before you hit the beach. It's Morning in America. Every time I see people jump into the lake like that, I'm like, who are you? How do you do that? It reminds me of those ice baths. From our NewsNation headquarters in America's Heartland, it's time for news for all America. Happy New Year. I'm Nick Smith. Both Adrienne and Markie have a well-deserved day off, and they will be back here tomorrow. Here's a live look at Dallas, Texas this morning, courtesy of EarthCam. Take a look at that. Ooh, all lit up. Everyone had a good time last night. You see the skyline still lit up from the new year. That bright pink sign saying, welcome 2024. Welcome indeed. And across the globe, take a look at how France rang in the new year. Hundreds of thousands of people, including tourists from abroad, gathered to celebrate. We hope you had fun and a safe celebration as well. And thank you so much for joining me this morning. We're also following several developing stories, beginning with a new potential terror threat against the United States from Al-Qaeda. An affiliate of theirs, AQAP, the group calling for attacks against prominent figures, including Elon Musk and U.S. airlines. Our Stephanie Haynes is live with how the TSA is responding to that threat. Plus, we're tracking the rising tensions in the Red Sea. U.S. helicopters sinking 3 Iranian-backed Houthi boats after the group attacked a merchant ship. Tom Dempsey is live with that part of our coverage. And the strained relationship between the United States and Israel as the war against Hamas carries on. Those stories in just a few minutes. But first, we begin with a new year, but the same saber rattling out of North Korea. Kim Jong-un saying Monday the country's military should, quote, thoroughly annihilate the United States and South Korea if provoked. Pyongyang has upped its threats in response to recent military drills between the U.S. and South Korea. The TSA is responding to a new terror threat from Al-Qaeda, calling for attacks against Jewish and Western targets. As we come to the end of this record-breaking holiday travel season, our Stephanie Haynes joins us this morning with the very latest. Stephanie, this new threat has security officials on high alert.
High alert indeed, Nick. TSA says there is no credible threat stemming from this video at this time. It was a video posted back in October by Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula. Take a listen.
We're here together, calling you for jihad.
According to the Middle East Media Research Institute, the video opens with footage from the October 7th attacks on Israel and features the terrorist group's leader, who expresses his approval of those attacks. And in the video, he encourages Muslims and jihadis to, quote, kill every Jew, American, and British citizen, for by Allah, those will never be deterred without similar blessed acts. Also calling for attacks against high-profile figures such as Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and former Fed Chair Ben Bernanke. He encourages methods such as the September 11th attacks on the United States, calling that the best example to deter Western countries from supporting Israel. TSA telling NewsNation it is aware of this video and in close contact with the Department of Homeland Security, sending a statement reading in part, quote, foreign terrorist organizations routinely highlight transportation modes during the holidays. TSA is operating at a high level of security and constant state of vigilance, as always.
This is a group that has been successful in the past. And so I think it's very important that we take these threats seriously. When they are doing things like this explicitly through their English language channels, I think they are really trying to recruit kind of lone wolf individuals.
And Nick, as you said, this has been a very busy holiday travel season. Last weekend, TSA says it screened more than 12 million passengers through its security checkpoints. Today is going to be quite as busy as well. And so, as always, they say if you see something, say something. Nick.
Stephanie Haynes with the very latest for us this morning. Stephanie, thank you. Fighting has escalated in the Red Sea. The U.S. military confirming Navy helicopters fired on Houthi rebels, ultimately sinking 3 of their boats and killing 10 militants. Yemen's Houthis have been targeting commercial ships in the Red Sea since November to show their support for Hamas in the war with Israel. Our Tom Dempsey joins us live this morning. Tom, this latest attack has drawn concerns even from our British allies.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning, Nick. This morning, cargo ships traveling through the Red Sea continue to face all sorts of threats from Houthi rebels aligned with Iran. But the U.S. military also remains on very high alert after pushing back this most recent attack that ultimately led to 10 militants being killed and 3 attack boats sinking. So this all began when a cargo ship put out distress calls after being hit by a missile while traveling through the Red Sea, and it was also attacked by 4 Houthi boats. The U.S. military saying a destroyer then shot down 2 other missiles before helicopters responded, sinking 3 of the boats and killing almost a dozen rebels. The military saying the rebels even fired on the helicopters, but no soldiers suffered any injuries. This all comes after the United States helped organize what's being called Operation Prosperity Guardian, which aims to protect cargo ships going through the Red Sea. U.S. Central Command says Houthi rebels have attacked cargo ships 23 times since mid-November. And since the coalition of at least 9 other countries formed a few weeks ago, they've shot down 17 drones and 4 anti-ship ballistic missiles. The attacks have caused the world trade to reroute around the Red Sea, leading to rising costs and shipping delays. Earlier this morning here on NewsNation, senior national security contributor retired Lieutenant General Richard Newton spoke about the concerns of the war in the Middle East expanding even more.
These type of attacks, I predict, unfortunately, will increase. But let's not also forget we've got U.S. forces, land-based forces in Iraq and Syria. So it's very confounding to the Biden administration, but also to our coalition forces just trying to not only maintain the peace, but maintain, vital economic commercial lanes of operation.
Now, in response to this most recent attack, the shipping company says it will stop going through the Red Sea for at least the next 2 days. The Houthi rebels, as you mentioned, Nick, saying that all these attacks on cargo ships are in response to Israel's invasion of Gaza. Nick?
Tom, an escalating situation that has everyone on alert. Tom Dempsey live this morning. Tom, thank you. As the war against Hamas nears 3-month mark, Israel Defense Forces are planning to send reservists home from Gaza. An IDF spokesperson says this will help boost the economy and strengthen the military as Israel heads into another phase of the war. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu pushing back on calls for a ceasefire over the weekend, vowing the conflict would last for many more months. This comes as Hamas fired a barrage of rockets toward Israel just after the new year. No direct hits were reported in the attack on the central and southern Israel border as the Iron Dome intercepted some of those rockets. In a surprising move, Ohio Republican Governor Mike DeWine vetoes a bill regarding transgender care for teens, leaving decisions in the hands of parents.
Were I to sign House Bill 68, or were House Bill 68 to become law, Ohio would be saying that the state, that the government, knows better what is medically best for a child than the 2 people who love that child the most, the parents.
President Trump criticizing the move. The Ohio State House and Senate had already cleared the legislation. The bill would have also barred transgender athletes from participating in girls' and women's sports. To discuss how this could play out in the year's election, let's bring in political strategist and commentator Rena Shah. Rena, good morning and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Nick.
Rena, not a decision I think anyone expected, but you support the governor's decision. Why?
Nick, I find the decision in Ohio to be very practical. Governor DeWine is somebody who's been known to be quite moderate, but what he's done here is not unlike other governors from other states. He's following suit, just like Governor Spencer Cox of Utah. In Indiana, we saw the governor do that there as well, this very same thing, as well as Governor Doug Burgum in North Dakota. Now, these 3 same governors I just mentioned, they went on to sign revised bills that would ban transgender transgender youth from participating in sports and other such school-sponsored activities that, again, are related to athletic performance. But this is about gender-affirming care. And I realize that phrase is foreign to many folks, even to me. I went to the Human Rights Campaign to learn exactly what gender-affirming care is and isn't. And it refers to a range of services that are everything from mental to social. And what Governor DeWine did here, I believe, protects these youth from becoming second-class citizens in America. And none of us should want that. These youth are essentially getting these life-saving services. That's what gender-affirming care essentially does. Now, that does include things like puberty blockers and hormones. But in this decision, it's very clear to me, and should be to many conservatives, that the governor does not want the state to make the decision here. He's allowing parents to make the decisions for their children and relying on doctors. He says he had many conversations that led to him, again, reaffirming that parent right here.
You know, Rena, I think you mentioned it off the top. I think it's the term that sometimes gives people pause because they hear it in a soundbite and they immediately become uncomfortable with what it could mean because it's not often explained. But I do have to ask you, though, could this decision by the governor, could Trump's criticism of antitrust legislation impact his run for the White House?
Yeah, I believe that what candidate Trump is doing now essentially is in line with what he did in his term in the White House. And if he were to earn a second term in the White House, his continuation of policies on transgenders, on transgender Americans, on the youth, and again, on those serving in the military, let's not forget his actions there. They would just be, again, sort of a continuation of the first term's policy. So I don't see the real impact here, Nick, on Trump's candidacy. But it is important to look at who's in the primary field right now, along with Trump. And in the fourth debate sponsored by NewsNation, we heard a lot of talk about, again, this very issue. Nikki Haley has come out, of course, over the course of 4 debates, talking about the role of transgender youth and how they can participate in sports, reaffirming, again, women in sports. But it is Chris Christie that most shares Governor Mike DeWine's views. And he's the one who said, the minute you open the door for the state and you cede this authority to them to make this decision for your child, then that is when you leave the door open, essentially, I'm paraphrasing, on them doing so much more. So Christie really framed it in that lens of parental rights as well as what control the state should and should not have. And then, of course, we know Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has made many moves also in the state of Florida that are not in line with what Governor DeWine has done in Ohio. And let's not forget, Governor DeWine has critics there in Ohio himself. Senator J.D. Vance has been very critical of him. Previous opponents for the governorship in Ohio have also said this is nonsensical, that a Republican should have signed the bill instead of vetoed it like DeWine did. But DeWine is doing just fine on this because this bill passed both chambers there in Ohio with some good support, and he likely won't get any overturn there in the legislature in Ohio. So again, a very practical decision I see here, Nick, that maybe other states may also follow, because what I see here is this is about human rights and parental rights.
Rena Shaw, a political strategist and commentator, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, throughout 2023, we've witnessed a crisis at the border reach a new level, from the lengths people are willing to go to get into the country to how every state across America is feeling the impact. And NewsNation has been on the ground covering every aspect of it. Our own Allie Bradley took a closer look.
Tens of thousands of migrants cross the border each and every day, from as far away as the Middle East, the African continent, South America, even China, fleeing conflicts, violence, and persecution.
Why did you decide to come to America?
向往美国的自由.
Yearning for American freedom. They're risking life and limb to make the treacherous journey into the U.S., each person with a different story, all with the same goal, to chase the American dream.
America is my dream.
I want to be successful, and I want to help people back home too.
America, the good country.
I like this country, so if I did, you can bury me here.
But for many, that American fantasy often turning into a nightmare. NewsNation was there in Eagle Pass, Texas, and captured the moment some of those asylum seekers arrived on dry land, some unresponsive, after enduring a harrowing journey and had to be revived using CPR. Hundreds of people are crossing over from Mexico, crossing the Rio Grande, and this morning what we're dealing with is thick, heavy fog. You can hear the people, but you can hardly even see them. That is just one of the elements that law enforcement on the front lines are dealing with every day out here. Border officials also dealing with a surge in migrant smuggling, so-called coyotes, preying on people's desperation, often charging thousands of dollars when they can't even guarantee safe passage. And that means scenes like these. Caught on camera of a mother carrying her crying child, a piece of cardboard shielding her from barbed wire, and finding inventive ways to scale what looks like an impenetrable border wall. Our cameras were rolling as a smuggler, using a system of ropes, hoists a migrant up and over the fence. Border Patrol also telling me coyotes are offering migrants so-called survival kits to help evade border agents and arrive in the U.S. undetected. So here's what you're going to see. You're going to see something like this. This is a shirt with some kind of hood. You also have a pair of pants here with just a simple drawstring that'll fit just about anybody. But here's the most interesting part. These are carpet booties, and these go right over any shoe that someone's wearing. And look at that. No tracks left behind. And once these migrants arrive on U.S. soil, it's not all smooth sailing. Border apprehensions are on the rise as migrants wait in droves to be processed. And that has border towns like El Paso reaching a breaking point. These people have decided not to self-surrender to Border Patrol agents. They do not have any release paperwork. So right now, this is what they're doing, is they are making a home on the streets here in El Paso, waiting for bus fare, waiting to get on one of these buses. But the stories you don't often see come from within Mexico, inside violent, crime-ridden neighborhoods where cartels battle for influence.
If you want to understand how dangerous it is here in Tijuana, one of the most violent cities in the whole world, look at the security detail that the mayor of Tijuana has to travel with. Multiple bodyguards as she's in the beauty salon, and down there, the Mexican National Guard, multi-vehicle caravan. It feels like the president is here.
And News Nation was there to document a father's desperate search for the remains of his lost son.
Mi motivación es buscar y encontrar a mi hijo Eric Carrillo.
We are in the rural areas of Rosarito here in Mexico on the Tijuana border, and we joined a volunteer group whose main goal is to find dead Mexican nationals who have been buried and have not been discovered.
As the sun sets on another day at the border, with people carrying their hopes, dreams, and tragic circumstances, News Nation will be back in 2024 with more of the stories you care about amid ongoing efforts to solve a growing crisis.
Allie Bradley from the border. Reports show the number of Americans wrongfully detained overseas has surged in the past decade. The effort's underway to free them as their families plead for help. Plus, starting today, people in California are banned from carrying firearms in most public places. The legal battle taking place as the law takes effect.
Sore throat got your tongue? Mucinex Insta-Sue Sore Throat Medicated Drops. Uniquely formulated for rapid relief that lasts and lasts.
That's my baby!
Get Mucinex Insta-Sue. It's comeback season.
It's our phone bill. We pay for things that we don't need.
That's a bit dramatic.
We must tighten our belts.
A better plan to save is Verizon.
That's right. Plans start at $25 per line, guaranteed for 3 years. Only on Verizon.
Shingles. Some describe it as pulsing electric shocks or sharp stabbing pains. This painful blistering rash can disrupt your life for weeks. A pain so intense, you could miss out on family time. The virus that causes shingles is likely already inside of you. If you're 50 years or older, ask your doctor or pharmacist about shingles.
Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors. Easy to apply for the whole family. Vicks VapoStick. And try Vicks Vapo Shower for steamy Vicks vapors.
As the world keeps moving, help prevent COVID-19 from breaking your momentum. You may have already been vaccinated against the flu. But don't forget this season's updated COVID-19 shot, too.
We come from a long line of cowboys. When I see all of us out here on this ranch, I see how far our legacy can go.
Now on sale at Ancestry.
Life, diabetes, there's no slowing down. Each day is a unique blend of people to see and things to do. That's why you choose Glucerna to help manage blood sugar response. Uniquely designed with Carb Steady. Glucerna, bring on the day.
During Kia's Season of Giving Back sales event, give yourself the gift you've been waiting for all year. Like great deals on the confidently capable Sorrento and the spacious Sportage. Not to mention offers on the all-electric EV6 and the fun-to-drive Forte. Visit your local Kia dealer.
Get 0.9% APR for 48 months plus 500 bonus cash and 1,000 trade assist cash on select new 2023 Sorrento models.
The votes are in.
I'm Elizabeth Vargas with NewsNation. It is make or break time.
More Americans than ever are joining NewsNation.
I thought NewsNation did a great job.
See what everyone is talking about.
That was the best debate that has been done so far.
Big winner tonight, NewsNation. This was a top-notch professional debate.
They want good, honest media. That's why tonight was such a success.
NewsNation. News for all America.
Welcome back. As we begin a new year, dozens of Americans remain imprisoned abroad, many unjustly. The Biden administration has brought home at least 45 so far and is working to secure the release of more. Tom Dempsey updates us on a few major cases and where the greatest dangers of imprisonment are for Americans traveling abroad.
He's the person who could kind of make sense, or I would come to make sense of when things like this were happening in the world. I miss him dearly.
For almost 300 days and counting, the family of Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich has hoped and prayed for him to come home.
We send him one once a week and get one from him. And those are just a lifeline.
Gershkovich now trapped at a prison in Russia after being arrested last March on espionage charges highly questioned by both U.S. leaders and his employers. He remains one of dozens of Americans considered wrongfully detained, with the Biden administration calling the threat of Americans being held on suspicious charges in certain parts of the world a national emergency. The State Department even warns U.S. travelers about possible wrongful detention concerns in at least 9 countries, including China, where the James Foley Legacy Foundation says the largest number of Americans remain wrongfully detained, and where Kai Lee has remained behind bars since 2016, charged with allegedly stealing state secrets.
He's just an innocent American who's, unfortunately caught up in this larger sick game of hostage diplomacy.
Lee's story, one of many tracked by the Bring Our Families Home campaign. Freelance journalist Austin Tice from Texas remains in a prison in Syria, detained there since 2012, while former Marine Paul Whelan continues to plead for help from a Russian jail cell after being arrested 5 years ago and accused of being a secret agent. Lee's son knows the agony of waiting.
The scary part is, you see with the Americans who are being wrongfully detained around the world, including in China, right? These are all ordinary Americans, ordinary people. And, unfortunately, as a result, we don't get the attention that maybe some others would.
Signs of hope come every so often. In Iran, the U.S. secured the release of 5 Americans in a prisoner swap back in September. And just weeks ago, 10 American prisoners got released from Venezuela custody in exchange for the release of a close ally of the country's president. But for the families with loved ones still facing so much uncertainty, President Biden's team says they will keep trying to bring them home.
For me and for the president, these are not names on a piece of paper. These are not numbers. They're real people, real families, whose lives have been torn apart.
An update on the Paul Whelan case. In a recent interview, Whelan said he's concerned the U.S. could work out a deal to release Evan Gershkovich and leave him behind again. 2023 was life-changing for the small community of East Palestine, Ohio, after a toxic train derailment. A look at their journey and where they go from here. Plus, eyes to the sky. A streak of light is spotted lighting up the night, where it happened and when you could see the next meteor shower. And the Packers ending 2023 with some fireworks in their push for the playoffs. See the best performances from Week 17 in the NFL.
What's my safe flight story? I'm a photographer, and when I'm driving, I see inspiration right through my glass. So when my windshield cracked, it had to be fixed right. I scheduled with Safelite Auto Glass. Their experts replaced my windshield and recalibrated my car's advanced safety system. Safelite is the one I trust. They focus on safety, so I can focus on this view.
Safelite repair, Safelite replace.
Emergency crystals pop and fizz when you throw them back. And who doesn't love a good throwback? Emergency crystals.
It's lunchtime, and Gary is double booked. Good thing Gary's company uses Otter's AI meeting assistant to take notes and generate a summary. So Gary doesn't miss a meeting and can regain his lunch break. Try now for free. Visit otter.ai or download the app.
Ah, mornings. The golden hour of cold and flu symptoms.
I'm feeling better.
Cough? Congestion?
All in one and done with new Mucinex Kickstart.
Oh, hated that. Headache? Better. Fever, body pain.
Better now.
New Mucinex Kickstart gives all-in-one and done relief with a morning jolt of instant cooling sensation. It's not cold and flu season, it's comeback season.
I got a health plan not knowing that I was going to need it 3 months later. For $17 a month, my plan includes counseling, and it completely changed my life.
I'm not on my parents' health insurance anymore, so I found a plan for just $34 a month.
Signing up was so easy, it only took me 30 minutes to find a plan for $13 a month. All plans cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll by January 16th.
Guys, got hair loss? I know what you're thinking. Should I shave my head? Comb it over? Wear a hat? Just stop. This isn't 1970. Keep your hair and your confidence because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration experts, can give you your real hair back permanently. Check them out because they're giving away an absolutely free information kit and a free gift card to everyone who scans this QR code. Dude, you don't have to look like your dad because this isn't your dad's hair loss treatment. People all over the country trust Bosley because they're ahead of the curve. They use the latest technology to give you your real hair back. And the best part, Bosley's permanent solution is protected by the Bosley Guarantee. Let them show you for free how awesome your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit and a gift card for $250 off. Scan the QR code. Don't wait. Scan the code now and ask about the Bosley Guarantee.
Welcome back. I'm meteorologist Max Saparis. We're tracking breaking news overseas of a major earthquake or a series of major earthquakes hitting Japan, causing the threat for tsunamis. The biggest was a 7.5 magnitude on the west coast of Japan in Ishikawa, and that's causing the threat for those tsunamis now in the coming hours. Japan's weather agency issuing a tsunami warning for much of west central Japan. That, however, is a downgrade. They did have a major tsunami warning there. Either way, though, still wanting residents to evacuate to higher ground as there could be a tsunami as high as 10 feet on the way. Now, we have new video to show you. This is out of Suzu, Japan, showing the rattling of buildings causing explosions. You can see that dust exploding on the left side of your screen there. In the foreground, there are residents actually bracing for the impacts as that is shaking. And, of course, this is coastal Japan, where you can see those high waves starting to get going due to that major earthquake. Now, 19 earthquakes reported so far, and at least 30 buildings have collapsed. Reports of people trapped in the rubble, Nick.
That is a lot. Max, that camera shaking like that helps to illustrate the severity of that. Wow. Max Paris live for us this morning. Max, thank you. At least 9 people, including 3 New York City police officers, are recovering this morning after a car trying to flee police plowed into them. It happened overnight while people were gathered near Madison Square Garden after New Year's Eve celebrations. Multiple reports say officers came to intervene in a confrontation when one of the people involved in that dispute sped off, went down a one-way street, and plowed into the crowd. Everyone who was hurt is said to be stable this morning, but the New York Post reports that a woman was pinned against a food truck and that the operator of that truck was also among those injured. The 44-year-old suspect is in police custody. All right, this is what's in the mix today. U.S. Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts discussed the pros and cons of artificial intelligence in the legal profession. In his year-end report, he writes that any use of AI requires caution and humility. His comments come after AI-generated fake legal citations made their way into official court records. While he does acknowledge that AI can make it easier for people without money to access to courts, he predicts that human judges will be around for quite a while. And Cale Yarborough, one of NASCAR's greatest drivers, died on New Year's Eve at the age of 84. The Hall of Famer was the first to win 3 consecutive Cup titles during his career in the 1970s. He won the Daytona 500 4 times and the Southern 500 5 times. NASCAR making the announcement this weekend, but no word on his cause of death. And a new law in California banning people from carrying firearms in most public places takes effect today. It comes even as court cases continue to challenge it. A U.S. district judge ruled to block the law last month, saying it violates the Second Amendment. But this weekend, a federal appeals court put a temporary hold on that ruling. Banned places include parks, playgrounds, churches, banks, and zoos. And a possible meteor bolted across the sky. You see that? Wow, that looked great. That happened in the wee hours of the morning Saturday, leaving many in the UK wondering if they just witnessed a meteor. Some were able to capture it on camera. The International Meteor Organization says it received more than 100 reports from northern France, England, Scotland, and Wales. Wales, Tom Jones, Shirley Bassey. I know Wales. They have yet to confirm if it was an actual meteor. However, we can tell you the next meteor, get this, is expected to peak on January 4th. Ooh, we'll keep an eye to the sky. All right, this time next week, the NFL playoffs will be set, locked, confirmed. Sunday night, the Packers and Vikings battled it out for the position in the wild card race. Jordan Love got the New Year's Eve party started early in Minnesota, throwing 3 touchdown passes and running for another score. Green Bay had no problems on the road, easily beating the Vikings 33-10. They currently hold the final wild card spot in the NFC. And in a matchup between the AFC's best teams, Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson had the football flying high over the Dolphin defenders. Jackson made his best case for MVP this season, throwing 5 touchdowns, just 3 incomplete passes the entire game. Now, the conference will run through Baltimore. The Ravens clinched the top seed in the AFC and a first-round bye with the dominant win, 56-19. And from the pros to college, it's bowl season, and it's ringing in the new year, starting at noon Eastern with LSU and Wisconsin and the ReliaQuest Bowl, plus undefeated Liberty battles Oregon in the Fiesta Bowl. And later, it's the semifinals of college football playoff with Alabama taking on Michigan in the Rose Bowl and Texas versus Washington in the Sugar Bowl. And it could be said the world of true crime was a lot stranger than Hollywood fiction in 2023. From Brian Koberger and the Idaho stabbing case to Alec Murdaugh's double murder conviction, a look at how these major cases ended 2023 and what's ahead this year.
Oh, what a good time we will have. You can make it happen, girl.
Try dietary supplements from Voltaren for healthy joints.
Introducing Ned's Plaque Psoriasis. He thinks his flaky red patches are all people see.
Otezla is the #1 prescribed pill to treat plaque psoriasis.
Ned?
It can help you get clearer skin and reduce itching and flaking with no routine blood tests required. Doctors have been prescribing it for nearly a decade. Otezla is also approved to treat psoriatic arthritis. Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Serious allergic reactions can happen. Otezla may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Some people taking Otezla had depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur.
With clear skin, movie night is a groovy night. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla.
Diabetes can serve up a lot of questions, like what is your glucose and can you have more carbs? Before you decide. With the Freestyle Libre 3 system, know your glucose and where it's heading. No finger sticks needed. Now the world's smallest and thinnest sensor sends your glucose levels directly to your smartphone. Manage your diabetes with more confidence and lower your A1C.
the #1 CGM prescribed in the U.S. Try it for free at freestylelibre.us.
I have type 2 diabetes, but I manage it well. It's a little pill with a big story to tell. I take once daily Jardiance at each day start. As time went on, it was easy to see I'm lowering my A1C.
Jardiance works 24/7 in your body to flush out some sugar. And for adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease, Jardiance can lower the risk of cardiovascular death too. Jardiance may cause serious side effects, including ketoacidosis that may be fatal, dehydration that can lead to a sudden worsening of kidney function, and genital yeast or urinary tract infections. A rare life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction, and don't take it if you're on dialysis. Taking Jardiance with the sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
Jardiance is really swell, the little pill with the big story to tell.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sore throat got your tongue? Mucinex Insta-Sue Sore Throat Medicated Drops. Uniquely formulated for rapid relief that lasts and lasts.
That's my baby!
Get Mucinex Insta-Sue. It's comeback season.
From the biggest trial of the 2023 year in South Carolina to new accusations in one of the Midwest's most shocking murder cases. A lot happened in the world of true crime, and NewsNation was there for all of it. Senior national correspondent Brian Enton takes a look back and shares what is ahead in 2024.
Alec, is there anything you want to say to your surviving family members? Do you plan to appeal, Alec?
It is the 2023 verdict that sent shockwaves through South Carolina after the trial of the century. Once Low Country royalty, attorney Alec Murdaugh convicted of killing his wife and son.
Guilty verdict, signed by the forelady, 3/2/23.
It took the jury in Colleton County, South Carolina, just 3 hours to deliberate and come to a verdict in the case. Even the judge seemed to take it personally.
In the murder of your wife, Maggie Murdaugh, I sentence you for a term of the rest of your natural life. For the murder of Paul Murdaugh, whom you probably loved so much, I sentence you to prison for murdering him for the rest of your natural life.
The Murdaugh drama is far from over. His attorneys are now asking for a new trial, accusing the clerk of tampering with the jury. That fight is expected to ramp up in 2024. Another defendant becoming a household name is Bryan Kohberger, charged with murdering 4 University of Idaho students. Madison Mogen, Kaylee Gonzalez, Xander Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were all found brutally stabbed to death in their off-campus apartment. Kohberger was arrested in Pennsylvania at his parents' house and flown back to Idaho to face the murder charges. He waived his right to a speedy trial, and the legal process has moved painfully slow for the victims' families, with no exact time frame for a trial at this point.
I don't want to hear that. Like, I want to see this guy die. Like, I don't want him breathing any longer. They say, oh, he's living in hell already. No, he's not. Not the hell that I think of. The hell that I think of is terrifying, agonizing torture, day in and day out.
You are sentenced to the custody of the State Board of Corrections to serve the maximum allowed sentence of fixed determinate term of life imprisonment with no possibility of parole.
Doomsday mom Lori Vallow, convicted of murdering her children, JJ and Tylee, and conspiring to kill her husband's previous wife, Tammy. The July 2023 verdict coming after an agonizing trial. Prosecutors said Vallow joined a religious cult and believed her children were evil. They were found burned, mutilated, dismembered, and buried like animals.
How does someone who you knew as a very nice person go from that to being able to, or being accused of, killing her children?
I think you have to really understand them as a people and their belief system. They don't see the zombies as people. They see them the way someone would see a cockroach being controlled by a parasite. Killing the kids to them is mercy. And as disturbing as that is, and as hard as it is to wrap your mind around it, that's why someone who spent all these years being kind and loving could then do that.
The disturbing saga still very much ongoing. Vallow will face conspiracy charges to commit murder in 2 other cases in Arizona in 2024, and her husband, Chad Daybell's murder trial in Idaho, is set for April. Other big 2023 crime stories will follow closely into the new year include the Delphi murders, a case that's seen its fair share of disruption since 2017, when Abigail Williams and Liberty Germain were found dead. Suspect Richard Allen's lawyers withdrew from the case after confidential photographs from the crime scene were leaked. The case could go to trial in 2024. And Brian Walsh's case also continues to weave its way through the court process. Walsh is accused of killing his wife Anna, who was last seen alive on January 1st. Prosecutors say Walsh searched on the internet the best ways to dispose of a body. He'll be back in court in January, one of the many crime stories we'll continue to dig into in the new year. I'm Brian Entin, News Nation.
For many of us, the new year means new habits, but some resolutions can be more harmful than helpful. We take a live look and talk to Dr. Frida Fisher about the potential health risks associated with dry January and the popular polar plunge. And taking a look back on those who changed the world and our lives, honoring some of the notable people we lost in 2023.
This is our call to inaction, to answer the call of the recliner.
We're getting takeout because we've been out all day long.
It's the year-end sale. Great deals on your new favorite lazy spot. Lazy Boy. Long live the lazy.
I brought in Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein. Those who tried me felt more energy in just 2 weeks. Here, I'll take that.
Ensure Max Protein. 30 grams protein, 1 gram sugar, 25 vitamins and minerals, and a new fiber blend with a prebiotic.
Take a breath of fresh air with the Stanley Steamer Air Duct Cleaning. We clean over 10 million feet of air ducts each year with our specialized trucks built by us, removing the contaminants from your home. For cleaner indoor air, call 1-800-STEAMER.
How do I do it all? With a little help. And to support my family's immune health, I choose Airborne. It has an unbeatable amount of vitamin C, plus a unique blend of immune-focused ingredients to turn up our immune support. Airborne, turn up your immune support.
We come from a long line of cowboys. When I see all of us out here on this ranch, I see how far our legacy can go.
Now on sale at Ancestry.
The virus that causes shingles is sleeping in 99% of people over 50. It's lying dormant, waiting, and could reactivate. Shingles strikes as a painful, blistering rash that can last for weeks, and it could wake at any time. Think you are not at risk for shingles? It's time to wake up, because shingles could wake up in you. If you're over 50, talk to your doctor or pharmacist about shingles prevention.
What's my safe flight story? I'm a photographer, and when I'm driving, I see inspiration right through my glass. So when my windshield cracked, it had to be fixed right. I scheduled with Safe Flight Auto Glass. Their experts replaced my windshield and recalibrated my car's advanced safety system. Safe Flight is the one I trust. They focus on safety, so I can focus on this view.
Safe Flight Repair, Safe Flight Replace.
I've always been prone to hair thinning.
I was getting older. I was under a lot of stress.
I started taking Nutrafol.
Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement.
I am back to me.
Start your hair growth journey at Nutrafol.com.
If you have Graves' disease, your eye symptoms could mean something more. That gritty feeling can't be brushed away. Even a little blurry vision can distort things, and something serious may be behind those itchy eyes. Up to 50% of people with Graves could develop a different condition called thyroid eye disease, which should be treated by a different doctor. See an expert. Find a TED eye specialist at isitted.com.
I love my parents. So as they've gotten older, we've had to have some not so fun conversations about their wishes if something were to happen to them.
As an estate planning attorney, most people that would come to my office were looking to create a will for their family, but many couldn't afford the fees.
That's why we started Trust and Will, a modern and affordable approach to estate planning.
Attorney-designed documents, customized by you, all through an easy-to-use website.
The way a will should be. Find the plan that's right for you at trustandwill.com.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. That's when I found this, the Brux Night Guard. Now the Brux Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brux Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to bruxnightguard.com and order yours today.
2024, new year, new me. You know, we hear it all the time. Everybody says it. They post it on Instagram and social media. Some contemplate diets, a career switch, or abstaining from alcohol. And some are set to shock the system by jumping in a cold body of water known as the polar plunge. This New Year's Day, experts are sounding the alarm and on not only the dry January, but also that frosty dip. Dr. Frida Fisher joins us now to talk about it all. Dr. Fisher, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
You know what? You and I have talked before about these sudden changes that people do instead of exercising good sense and using moderation. Let's start with dry January, because, you know, we hear people talk about it all the time and they try to shame friends around them. I'm not drinking in January. I'm doing dry January. Can you talk to us about how this has become such a widespread practice and encouraging individuals to abstain from alcohol after the holiday season?
Yes. Well, Nick, we know that alcohol is everywhere. If you go to a New Year's Eve party, there's alcohol. Birthday party, there's alcohol. It's everywhere. It's highly accepted in our society. But according to the CDC, alcohol is the #1 cause of preventable death in the United States. And so having zero or moderate or very low alcohol use is a positive thing, which is why it seems like on the surface, dry January, having no alcohol for the month of January would be a no-brainer. However, there are risks that we just don't talk about enough that I would love to share.
Please go down the list for us. Hit it.
All right. 1, if you drink excessive alcohol, which by the CDC is defined as having 8 drinks or more in a week if you're a woman, 15 drinks or more if you're a man, and then if you binge drink, having 4 to 5 drinks in one setting, if all of a sudden you stop cold in your dry January, that could lead to some very serious withdrawal symptoms or health symptoms like high heart rate, high temperature in your body, seizures, and even death. And so it's important to consult with a physician before stopping cold, especially if you have an issue. Also, having a dry January can help people to mask or to hide or be in denial about a real alcohol problem. You could be having excessive alcohol use and increasing your risk for heart disease, diabetes, cirrhosis of the liver, and you think that just because you were able to stop for 31 days, that you have no problem. So what happens in February? You start binge drinking again and you increase your health risk long term. And so it can be a way to kind of be in denial about alcohol use just because you stopped for a month and you're not addressing the real problem.
Let's talk about that polar plunge, because, you know, people do that on January 1st as well. And we even see so many athletes now taking these ice baths. Are they the same thing, different?
They're very different. Now, with the athletes taking these ice baths, and many are doing it under the supervision of a healthcare provider or a physician, there have been some studies to show that there could be some improvement in ice baths as far as immune system, just some kind of controversial studies, actually. But with this polar plunge, no, sir. That's jumping into water that's 60 degrees Fahrenheit or colder in temperature, and it can lead to complications of hypothermia or low body temperature, which is when your temperature drops from the normal 98.6 to less than 95, and it can lead to cardiac arrest. It can lead to respiratory problems. It can lead to your body just having a lot of dysregulations. And there have actually been cardiac arrests found from the polar plunge. So if you have high blood pressure, if you have asthma, or if you have heart disease, make sure you consult with your physician before doing the polar plunge. But quite frankly, I say don't do it.
Hey, you ain't got to tell me twice. I had no intention. Dr. Frida Fisher, thank you so much, and Happy New Year to you and your family.
Happy New Year, Nick.
It's a new year, and that means thousands of new laws, from vaping to non-citizen police officers. We take a look at some of the highest profile measures in effect now in states all across the country.
Right now, get a free footlong at Subway, like the new Deli Heroes. Buy 1 footlong in the app, get 1 free.
It's a pretty big deal.
Kinda like me. Order in the Subway app today.
Blood when brushing could be the start of a domino effect of gum disease. All of these signs could lead to worse. Parodontax is clinically proven to reverse the signs of early gum disease. Parodontax, the gum experts.
Stanley Steamer is proud to be the leader in deep cleaning, cleaning over 1 million homes and businesses across America every year. We remove the buildup of dirt, dust, and grime from your home and business. Call your local Stanley Steamer.
Mucinex Night Shift fights your worst nighttime symptoms so you can get to sleep and wake up ready to go. How could you? Wake up to a new you. With Mucinex Night Shift, it's not cold and flu season. It's always comeback season.
Here's why you should switch from Google to DuckDuckGo on all your devices. DuckDuckGo comes with a built-in search engine like Google, but it's private and doesn't spy on your searches. And DuckDuckGo lets you browse like Chrome, but it blocks cookies and creepy ads that follow you around from Google and other companies. And there's no catch. It's free. We make money from ads, but they don't follow you around. Join the millions of people taking back their privacy by downloading DuckDuckGo on all your devices today.
My New Year's resolution, really want to spend more time outside.
We welcome you to the Winter Classic.
I think I'm going to travel more.
Seattle, we're coming.
Outdoor hockey.
You gotta live life to the fullest.
Accomplish my goals. You know what? I got to upgrade my wardrobe.
These are the jerseys.
Awfully good looking. I just want to have more fun.
Signature event of the NHL. An electric atmosphere.
Let's go! The 2024 Discover NHL Winter Classic, today at 2 on TNT.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I feel free to bare my skin, thanks to Skyrizi. I'm celebrating my clearer skin my way. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. In another study, most people had 90% clearer skin even at 5 years. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to.
Thanks to clearer skin with Skyrizi, this is my moment. There's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Now's the time. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
A couple years ago, I ended up in a motorcycle accident. I didn't have health insurance at the time, and now I have a plan that keeps me covered for $9 a month.
Half of my monthly premium is covered with financial help, and knowing I'm covered to go to therapy and fill my prescriptions is huge.
I found a plan for $0 a month. It was a huge sigh of relief.
All plans cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll by January 16th.
From Lisa Marie Presley, musician and daughter of Elvis and Priscilla Presley, to Matthew Perry, an instant friend in many homes. There were many high-profile and shocking deaths in 2023. We also lost several comedic figures, a beloved First Lady, and sports stars. Here's a look at some of the most recognizable faces who died last year.
Dance with me under the diamonds.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Gee, Laverne, come on. You know we're always going to be best friends no matter what.
Sleep with me here.
One of the most influential and talented guitarists in rock and roll music is Jeff Beck.
You say that I won't lose you, but you can't.
Do you plan on doing more music then?
Yes, for the rest of my life, if I could, I would love to.
Yeah, if you ever move on without.
She'll think you're boss. You gotta learn.
That you are the only one I'll ever love.
At her
entertaining shows are really not designed to teach in the way that Sesame Street was designed to teach.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Crosby.
The beam from this laser can be regulated to 1/1,000,000th of a millimeter.
Needs now.
You had one hell of a run, Sergeant Munch.
Did I?
It's the only
I don't know where it all went.
that there's just too little of what the world needs now.
And does Mr. Harry Potter have his key?
No, not just for some, but everyone.
Bud Grant is the coach who led the Vikings to 4 Super Bowls.
If you want to keep your job, Hobbs, you will pitch me this book right now.
Thank you so much for letting me be a part of Dancing with the Stars.
I will always love that sound until the day I die. There's a plain and a simple answer to each and every quest. From every quiet dancer who might be a special guest in a movie made for TV or a late night interview.
You're just a loose cannon who lucked into being in the right place at the right time at a beauty pageant.
Do you get that restless feeling when you hear a whistle blast like an echo?
But you know, since you married the toy maker, we don't get a lot of information.
Oh, honey, just stop it.
Fly me to the moon. I'll be seeing you in all the old.
Thank you for that welcome. And I think now we're ready to see the first
That
item
this
up for
heart
bid.
of mine embraces. Some people claim that there's a war in that small cafe.
Would always be given at Hogwarts to those who deserve it.
The children's carousel. The chestnut tree. The wishing well.
Because weddings are a great place to meet women, and when I dance, I look like this.
Seeing you in every lovely summer's day. Everything that's light and gay.
And now to say I miss you is putting it lightly, can't you see?
That way I'll find you in the morning.
Mom liked you best. You lower your voice.
Mom liked you.
The night is new. I'll be looking at the moon.
These have been the best years of my career, and I will never forget it.
Appointment of a woman to this court as a door opener for women, and I think that's an incredible legacy.
Absolutely beautiful tribute done by our producer Tina Palfero, and editor Sarah Jackson. Still so much more to get to here on Morning in America, and guess what? It starts right now.